Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Home Dad Chat. I am Brock.
I'm Danny.
We are here to have just a great conversation, finally, together. after weeks of not being able to talk to each other,
That's right.
and things happening. If you listened to last week's episode, I had to leave in a rush, and popped on at the end just for a quick moment. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting week. I've seen and done a lot of things, but Danny, how was your week for you?
The summer, man, I don't know what it is, if it's just the kids being home or just the lack of a schedule, but everything gets busier, it seems. I mean, I feel like we're not doing enough. Like, we need to go to this, we're going to do that, let's go to the park again or whatever. But I look at it and I'm like, ugh, slow down, man.
Yeah. Well, and you're in transition right now too.
Yep. And let's clarify, I'm moving to another state, not in any other type of transition, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've confirmed my gender identity, but yeah, some people might question it, but I think I'm good. But yeah, the move and everything, and getting the house ready and construction and getting it sold, and we had 15 showings, I think we counted, in the first 3 days, and it's sold, or it's under contract already.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess congratulations. Yeah, it's a little. I'm not even ready for it. So
yeah, no, I know it's a little bittersweet for you.
Yeah, well, that's it. But we, the biggest thing was for the showings, of course, we had to go, leave the house, and then that's fine. And most years, and this year, it's still, where do we go? We can't go to a restaurant. Most of the playgrounds are still kind of open, but, a lot of them, they haven't cut the grass in a couple of them that we go to regularly. The dog park needs some love, let's say. And we had to take the dog with us too. We ended up having to split it up. I would take the dog in my wife's car, and then she would take the kids, and she would go get some dinner out, and they loved that, of course. Burgers and fries. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to go sit over at the dog park and watch this dog peel in the tree while I eat a bag of peanuts or something, because I was just doing backpack snacks at that point, because we didn't realize how many nights in a row we do it. But yeah, like 3 nights in a row, and then we had a guy come in and put a really nice offer above our asking price and all that, and that's good. And then
wow,
we had planned our road trip for this week. We were supposed to have gone out I don't remember what day we were supposed to leave, but ended up canceling that. I didn't really think, we really don't have the ability right now to get the house ready in time and take, a week or 10 days to drive up to Minneapolis. But Marnie, my wife, did fly up there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
We wanted her, that was the original plan of the trip, was for her to hang out and see her new little nephew. And I was excited too. I was going to swaddle that baby, but nope. Don't get to swaddle a baby. I know how it is.
Don't worry, you'll get to eventually.
Someday. Well, he's standing up now. He's been sitting up for a week and a half. He stood up today, and I missed it. I missed my swaddle.
I was gonna say, I think your times of swaddling are definitely over at that point.
Yeah, he's ready to start running now, which is great. I love that too. I love all that ages. It's really cool too, that listening to my really my sister-in-law telling my wife, and my wife telling me, but listening to my sister-in-law talk about the sleep deprivation. And this is their first child, and you can't understand it until you go through it. Just that constant, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and generally not in a row kind of life that you're living. So she's really, really, really doing well as a mom, in my opinion. She's really just good at it naturally. This is all you need to do to love your kid. That's all you got to do.
I think that's going to flow well into what we're going to talk about later too.
Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hope everybody else is too. But yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. No, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I sat down to write an email the other day and just fell asleep in my chair, and I don't fall asleep in my chair. I woke up, I'm like, what did somebody hit me? One of the kids shot a Nerf dart with a ball bearing in it and put me out. But yeah, it's been busy, and it's just going to stay that way for a few more weeks. But Marnie's in there looking. She's been virtual touring houses for sale and has a couple, really one that she's got her eye on and just fell in love with, and probably will be the one we buy. And then she's going to run tomorrow, I think it is. She's going to be doing some actual walking tours with a real estate agent, and just making sure this is exactly what we want. So we should have an offer on a house, put in on a house by the end of the week. And just, yeah, we're done. I guess we're out. Moving.
That's exciting. Yeah. That's
cool,
it is.
Man. Yeah, it's really great.
Sweet, dude. Yeah. Sounds like you've had quite an adventure for sure.
Yeah. And you too, from what we talked about previously.
Yeah.
How's your house right now? How's your day?
Well, so I'll go back to last week when I had to go to the emergency room with my son. He's doing well.
Good.
They really didn't come up with much other than he had some sort of rash and he had constipation issues. Hey, we've talked about that on the show.
Yep. That's a part of dadding. That's for sure.
Kyle and I have had that conversation. And so we're pushing water into him and, just trying to get fiber into him, different things. Things seem to settle down for him and he's doing better. So, that was a few days of just kind of just chilling out. I don't know if that had to do with, the fact that we've kind of had an irregular diet with the traveling that we've been doing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that you figure it out, move as you go. So,
well, I think, if I may, just because our audience wasn't a part of that conversation from last week, as to why, because and I'll just tell everybody, when Brock came on, Matt Strain and I were talking, and Brock came in and explained the symptoms. And I think Matt and I immediately at the same time said, you need to take your child to the urgent care. There's no, you just need to go. We'll take care of this. We'll do the best we can. But if you wouldn't mind, just tell everybody maybe what was going on, because you say urgent care.
Yeah. So he had like a pain in his, on his right side. And it was one of those deals where, and this is where Matt kind of came in and was like, how, if it's on the right side, you really got to be concerned, because at that point we're talking appendicitis type of thing. But the thing with it was, like, when we pushed in, it hurt a little bit, and when we let go, there wasn't any pain. So it was a little bit of confirmation of like, all right, this isn't like super bad, but we still need to get him there. And honestly, like, we got him to urgent care and they checked him out. And then the doctor immediately was like, I don't think it's appendicitis. I think it's something else. And they did x-rays, and that's when they found like just a ton of gas built up. And so at that point we were in and out of there in like 2 hours. So it was a nice, quick diagnosis. The doctor, it was funny. They couldn't get the dad lounge to launch because apparently I had changed the email or changed a password or something, and I couldn't remember what it was. But I had brought my computer with me, because when I go to the ER, when we've always gone ever since our first visit, when Hezekiah was born, we've had like a to-go bag, or at least an idea of what it is. So like we always take changes of clothes for the kid and changes of clothes for whichever adult is going, just in case we're admitted, which I think anybody, honestly, like, you think about like your to-go bag when you go for your, the birth of your child. And then you got to remember, like, anytime you're going to the ER, you should definitely have a bag ready to go, or, know that you need to grab these things and throw them into a bag to take with you, because you just don't know. And then also too, like, charging cords, in this case, I took my computer with me, and just those kind of abilities to be able to communicate with people. And in this case, I was able to launch the dad lounge in the room before the doctor came in, and I was talking to some of the guys, and the doctor comes in and she is like, "What you guys doing?" And I didn't have my earbuds in. I just had it on the speakers, and she pokes her head in on it, and she was all like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And finds out like we're all stay-at-home dads, and I like left the room, and she was like, "That was really cool." She's like, "What was that?" And I explained it to her. It's like, this is one of our weekly calls for stay-at-home dads, and she was like, "Well, that's really neat." She's like, "I would have wanted to have been a part of something like that if I was a stay-at-home dad. That's cool."
Yeah.
so that was really awesome and reassuring to hear from her. So yeah, so that was kind of how things went there. And then let's see, I'm trying to think what else. So we had that, and then I don't know if you can hear anything that's going on right now, but it just sounds like there is, the ants go marching two by two.
A herd of elephants. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't hear it, but yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it's not being picked up on the microphone. But what I have right now is good friends of ours from college who he's also a military veteran. He's here with him and his wife and his service dog and his 6 kids. And then of course my family. So there's 12 of us in our 4-bedroom, with an extra room downstairs. And, we've got, we've got 4 girls in one room, my son and the oldest boy in another room. And then my college friends and their 2 youngest with them in their room. So it works. We made it work.
How old are the youngest?
What are they? 3 and
okay.
Or no, sorry, 5 and 6, I think.
Okay, so not too young, not like diapers,
No, like nobody's in diapers. So that's the nice part. But yeah, it's been fun, and I made pancakes for all of them this morning. So nothing like a big bowl of pancakes to get the day going. But we went to the zoo today. We were there for like 3 hours, and it was interesting walking around the zoo because like I said, my buddy, he's got a service dog with him, and there are parts of the zoo that you can't go with your service dog.
Yeah.
And so I spent a portion of the time like kind of helping maneuver him around, and also being with the kids and my friend's wife. And I actually took pictures like the whole time, like Joe did for me and the family.
Cool.
So I got all these awesome, like, candid shots of them, just kind of touring around. I took about 100 pictures in all for 3 hours, but they were really appreciative of it, because otherwise, I mean, they really wouldn't have been able to get the pictures, because trying to walk around there was like herding cats with all the kids and stuff. So plus my 2 were along as well. So anyway, but yeah, I say all that to, just kind of say, like, I mean, we love having people over at our house, and it's always nice, especially, with the fact that we haven't seen our friends in a year, to be able to have that ability to have them back in the house and just enjoy their company.
And are they local?
No, they live in Indy. So they're about an hour and a half away, actually about 2 hours away, because they live on the west side of Indy. But my buddy, who's Army vet, he was a Army chaplain's assistant, which basically means that he was the guard to the chaplain, because chaplains can't carry weapons. So he suffers from some severe PTSD, and so he's got this service dog, and just all of that. It's just nice to be able to have time with him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What's his dog's name?
His dog's name is Sierra. He just got her about a month ago. And,
nice.
So yeah, they're doing really well. It's like I said, it's great to be able to hang out with him and spend some time with him. He's an old ministry buddy of mine. So he's done some senior minister stuff, and I've done some youth ministry things back in the day. And so we've stayed connected through the years, just with that and everything else. And he works with he doesn't work with veterans. He works with folks who are coming out of addiction, and helping them find a place to stay and getting them on their feet, and just all these different things. And it's a really cool organization that he's helping out with. So yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love to hear that. That's definitely one of the many areas I think that we definitely have people that are in need.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so cool. He's doing some really cool stuff with them, and his wife is a stay-at-home mom, and so it's been fun to talk to her and have just some great conversations with a fellow stay-at-home parent, and also give him crap for sometimes not pulling some of his weight sometimes.
But yeah, that's I don't know, man. That's kind of a landmine. I don't know if I would do that with my wife.
he's a good sport about it.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we were what was it? Oh, we were trying to figure out what we wanted for dinner tonight, and she's the only one that likes Mexican in her whole family. The rest of them won't eat it. And I was like, well, they can all go get hamburgers at this, hamburger.
That's right.
That's what they're talking about. I was like, we're going to order from Mazunte, which is like this amazing Mexican place down the street from us. And she was like, oh, that sounds great. And he was all like, no, that's not going to work that way. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, who served your lunch to you today? I was like, who made your lunch? Who took care of all the kids' lunches? And he was all like, her. And I was like, all right, you don't get a say in any of this.
That's right. You got to step back, sir.
So just stuff like that. I mean, just fun things to like rib him a little bit on it. But yeah, we have a good relationship like that.
Yeah, definitely. I love it too that he is helping other people, because one of the things that I've learned in dealing with my own PTSD and mental health and things like that is the reality of it is you really know when you're reaching a point where you're going to be okay when you want to help other people.
Yeah.
When you start looking around and either, for some of us, it's like, oh, well, I just want to make sure this never happens to someone else, or I want to help people that this happen to, because there's no way we can stop it and move on, or just simply becoming a more aware person in your community and saying, well, people with addictions that need, when you come out of that, you may have, and likely a lot of people have lost everything.
Yeah.
And you come out of it and you've got to start all over, and to even consider being, having to do that is definitely people that need help. So it's very good, I think, for him and for his mental health. Not saying where he's at. And of course his story is different from mine, but I love that idea or that thought of, I've gotten to a point where I'm strong enough now where I can start helping other people. That's kudos to him, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
that's
definitely.
Great.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I kind of, just to sort of like turn the page on our conversation, but kind of falls in the same line. Like I see some of that with how how people who have been in the game as a stay-at-home dad interact with the new stay-at-home dads that they run into, especially with, within the group or whatever. And you see a lot of reoccurring comments about things like, how do you guys do this? How do you maneuver? Like, we've talked about scheduling before and routines and stuff on previous episodes. We're talking about like, how do you communicate with your wife or spouse or partner about how to get a break, or and not have that look like, I don't know, selfishness or whatever it is, like, or whatever, but actually like it's needed for, your self-care and mental health. But I say all that to just basically say, like, you have to be aware. I think that falls in line with what you're talking about. Like you got to be aware of what's going on, and you also got to feel like there's got to be open communication with your partner to be able to talk about it. And sometimes that can be difficult. We read stories today in the group about guys who are having a tough time getting their partners to be on the same page and realize that they need a break too. So self-awareness is super important.
Well, especially after the last year and a half of quarantine and COVID and everything else that we've had to deal with that just involved in that, going from, a lot of people that are either going out to work because they have no other choice, and they may catch a virus that may kill them or kill their grandmother or whoever, that's very contagious, to being at home constantly with the woman you love and her freaking kids for 18 months. It's great. No, I love my wife. I do.
Yeah, I know.
but anybody, that type of familiarity, no matter how good your relationship is, granted, it takes longer if you have a good relationship. You do have that communication. I can go to my wife probably. I could just at any moment walk up and say, look, I need a break. I know we didn't schedule this. We didn't have everything going, but I'm at my limit.
Right.
And she is an amazing person. And we have that relationship where she would say, yeah, I get it. I'm not doing what you're doing, but I can tell what it does to you. I can see how much work you put in. Yeah. Even if some of my day is sitting on the ground playing Uno with the kids, that's still not, that's still working. That's still not off time. That's not me time. And whereas if you're working outside the house, or in this case, maybe remote, and you have that constant job that's taking you away from your family, the thought of being able to sit on the floor and play Uno with your kids is like, oh, that would be amazing. This would be wonderful. Yeah. The first 5-6 times a week, it's great. And then we're at 20 by Thursday, and I'm kind of done with Uno. I don't want to sit on the floor right now.
You're like, how fast can I lose?
Right. You guys are getting really good at this game. Wow, that's three hands in a row. I guess we'll just go now. Let's go do something else. But having that ability to talk to my wife and being able to say to her, this is how I'm feeling, which is a big part of the relationship, is me knowing, one, what I'm feeling, two, that I need to say it, right? Which a lot of, men and women in a relationship don't have the ability to say how they're feeling to their partner.
Sure.
And then to be able to ask for what you need to fix it, or to mend it, to keep it from getting worse.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of, when we've talked about our relationships with our wives, we've both got really good relationships. But if you have a relationship that isn't that good, that isn't that stable, that isn't that solid, that just amplifies the issues. And you do get to the point where you're like, this lady won't listen to me. Mm-hmm. She didn't hear the thing I say. She laughs at me when I say I need a break. And that's just awful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's a very common thing. And it happens a lot, especially after having, again, been in the same house for the last 365 days straight.
Yeah. I definitely, when partners are not being aware of what their counterpart is going through too, is super difficult. Like, I mean, if you've got a good communication and you can, feel free and feel capable to be able to talk to your partner about like, hey, I need this time. That's great. However, it's even better and feels even more appreciated if like your partner like sees like, wow, they had a rough day, and they walk up and they say, how was your day? Do you need some time like away? What can I do to make things better, whatever that looks like. I think that's one thing that a lot of the breadwinning spouses and partners out there need to realize is that, yes, you were at work and you had a hard day at work. Totally get that. However, when you come home, like you really got to analyze what's going on at your house while you've been away. Because there's a lot of emotions and drama and whatever else going on that, the other adult in the relationship has had to deal with. And it's so different than dealing with adult emotions and things like that when you're at work, like, yes, work is tough, but when you have a toddler that you cannot reason with about something, that's a lot of stress, compared to an adult that you can actually have a reasoning conversation with and at least get to some sort of resolution that doesn't involve, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Or, applesauce being thrown or whatever it is.
Right. Getting hit by bodily fluids of some sort. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so and I think that comes down to being one of the bigger things that a lot of folks deal with. I feel like that's a just common denominator amongst stay-at-home parents in general. And it's not even like stay-at-home dads, like stay-at-home parents, like they all deal with it in different ways. Like I was saying, I ribbed my buddy who he's working and his wife is at home with the kids and stuff. And I think, he definitely has times where he's got blinders on to what's going on. But at the same time too, he's also trying to be observant to what she needs as well. And that was the thing that we were talking about before we got on here is like, the roles of stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads are super similar. And I was talking about this with them today and they were like, yeah, they're like pretty much the same thing. They do the same stuff. And I was like, they do. I was like, there's only one thing that doesn't match up. And that's the fact that, dads who go to the park tend to get from time to time, sadly, the police called on them because somebody doesn't want to take the time to find out who this person is, even when they walk up with the kids, I
was going to say, I brought my kids. I'm not taking yours. You can have mine. In fact, I need a break.
Exactly. But so, you know,
Right, you
and
can't
I
have
think
kids, just
that's,
kidding.
yeah. And I think that's really one of the only things that just doesn't play a part in it. And so it's one of those deals where when you get to that point, it's like, okay, like we're all in the same boat together. So if you go to the park and there's other parents there, you should be able to have conversations with them. And I
Mhm.
think that that tends to be a very awkward point. And you see too, where like, so like stay-at-home dads, like tend to go, well, I don't really have any other stay-at-home dads I hang out with, or I don't even feel comfortable talking to any like just dads in general. Like, you know, there's like, I can't even make friends anymore. And I had seen where
Yeah.
somebody on, I think it was on TikTok, had posted a video about how they're like, man, do you remember when you were in college and you left your college dorm room open and people would walk by and be like, oh man, that's a really sweet poster. Hey, do you want to go to this party with me or something like that? And they would be like, sure, I want to go to a party with you, person I just met. Like, let's do this and let's just be friends, you know, forever, blah, blah, blah. Like all this kind of thing. It was like so easy to just, I don't know, not hook up. That's not what I'm looking for. It's so much easier to just like attach to somebody and be like, hey,
Mhm.
yeah, let's hang out. Let's do this thing together. And that's something that as you become an adult, for whatever reason, like there is this barrier that just builds up. And the part that she switched to was she was just like, when someone's like, hey, like let's go do so, let's be friends or whatever. What do you want from me? What like that's the response. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
What's in this? What's this in for you? Like all these different things. It's like you didn't ask those things when you were younger.
No, no. No,
So
it's
yeah.
much easier, much quicker relationships, and not really that you're less trusting now, but you do know that there are people out there that you didn't know before. There are people out there that are looking to, whatever,
Yeah.
like how much money can I get off of you? Usually is what it is. And when you're in college, I think you don't realize that or know it. So yeah,
Yeah,
being an
definitely.
adult is hard in many ways, especially as an at-home dad, an at-home parent, or just a parent. Suddenly you have kids and you go from having all of these friends that do all these things, and you're the first one that have kids, and your friends don't want to have anything to do with you and your children. It's just
Yeah.
instant.
Yeah, that is definitely a tough thing when you are the first one of your circle of friends to have kids and everybody
Mhm.
else feels super awkward to have you over, or they don't
Yeah.
understand that like I'm honest, like we've got this routine going. It's like if you want to hang out, you're gonna have to come over like after the kid goes to bed or
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. And that's very difficult for people to be like, well, I want you to come over to my place. And it's like, well, that's great. Like, I don't know this is gonna work out. And
Right.
that makes it really rough.
Yeah, and the big thing that I find too with a lot of people is you end up having that disconnect because they don't realize how difficult it is for you now just to leave the house.
Yeah.
When you're, and there's been plenty of comedians that have made this joke, that basically that when you're a parent, I mean, when you're a single, you just go, well, I think I'm going to go to the store, and you just go to the store.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the full length of the story. That's everything you need to know. But with kids, it's just one thing after another. Even kids that are good about their routines, or that won't fight you just to get in their car seat, that refuse to put on their shoes or have lost a shoe, always just one. We'll have a shoe. Well, that's not going to do us much good, is it?
Yeah.
It's just, it seems almost impossible sometimes to gear everything up for two people. And it's just a little kid. I mean, you outweigh them. You can pick them up. Why can't you just, stick them in a jumper and let's go? No, sorry, single person or person without kids. That's not how kids work. You can't just stick them in a bag or fold them up like a blanket and let's go.
But I will
So,
say at the same time too, I do try to encourage new stay-at-home dads. They're like, I don't know what to do with this little bundle or whatever it is. And I'm like,
mhm,
honestly, when they're little, like you can just like put them in a carrier and go do your, normal things or whatever. Like I
mhm,
remember specifically like being like, I got to mow the lawn today. And like my kid won't go to sleep. And so I would literally like put on my backpack carrier with my son in there and go mow the yard.
yeah,
And he would fall asleep.
mhm. Yeah, I was going
That
to say,
he would just conk out. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, and I had like one that had like a shade over it too. So it was
mhm,
nice. Like it wasn't like he was gonna get sunburn or anything like that. But it's one of those deals where it's like you just put the kids in motion with your routine on things and keep chugging along. Like that's,
mhm,
as long as you're not doing anything that's like seriously putting them in any kind of danger, like,
mhm.
go have fun. And along the way, you're going to get people that are just like, oh, that's so great that you're out with your kid. And you're like, hey, just another parent, like, you know, that kind of deal.
I just have to be out. I needed toilet paper. This is what we do. This is how we get it.
Exactly. And so I think, you know, honestly, like any new stay-at-home dad that's listening to this, like, just realize, like, you've got to find a way to do the things you need to do for your mental health. Like, so if, you know, sitting in the house, you know, trying to figure out what to do with a little one is going to drive you nuts. Get out and go do stuff. You know, if it's like, hey, I'm going to go meet up with somebody else and we're just going to go to a coffee shop or something like that, you know, and you've got the carrier, like, strap them to your chest. And honestly, if you're close and you can walk, a lot of times they fall asleep on the way to the walk or whatever, on the walk on the way there. So just make that stuff happen. And I think that anybody who's like trying to figure out other things or know if they're alone in situations, because you see that a lot, like let me know if I'm alone in this, but this is our situation. And it's like, there's always a dad that comes in and is like, you're not alone. Like, you know, this is something, like multiple
dads. Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple come on and say, yeah, I've dealt with that too.
Welcome to the tribe. That's where we are.
Right. But to be able to have that freedom to be able to say that and ask those questions is one of the things that I truly love about the dad group, the National at Home Dad, closed group, is that there is that freedom and that safety to be able to state that situation, vent whatever it is about what's going on, and then also receive support and understanding from guys who have been there and done it.
Yeah, exactly. And been there and done that is a big part of it too. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the mentors that we have on the Facebook page in the closed group. There's a tab specifically for mentors. We have a lot, I think it's 6 or 8 guys in there that are just basically saying, hey, do you need somebody that has been through this or has done this? Well, that was me. And if I can help you by talking, having the ability to go to someone. And I think the biggest thing that people lack, I should say more specifically, because this is what I'm more familiar with, that men lack growing up, is a mentor. Someone beyond your dad, and especially for men who don't really have a father, but just the ability to go to an older man and say, okay, look, this is going on. What am I doing wrong? And for them to probably kind of laugh a little bit and go, sit down. This is going to take a minute, have a beer. Let me tell you all about why this happened and how it happened to me and all the things about it, giving that ability to find that common ground because they've been there. They're in the trench already. They're 50 yards down the trench from you, but they're like, yeah, come on. You just walk down here and we'll be good. And work together with you, but the mentorship part of the Facebook page, I think, was just an amazing thing for Facebook to come out with, basically, for the groups. And I love that we've kind of had dads that have kind of jumped on it voluntarily and said, hey, want to talk about this? Well, here I am. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, definitely it is. I haven't really jumped on there to see like who's on there, how many were on there. I know that that's something that you've been keeping track of and doing some stuff with. So that I'm glad that you were able to bring that up, because I think it's a utilized resource that's maybe even a little underutilized, I guess, in some ways. Like, there are people using it, but there could be more. So that's really cool. I don't know, did I tell you, or did you see the what was it, like the ad that the Facebook community did for the group recently?
No, I did not see that.
No. So they reached out to basically talk to the admin team about our group. And I ended up getting to have a conversation with them, and basically they turned my conversation into like a 2-minute ad for the group. And it was really cool. Like, so it was neat to be able to kind of put that out there for other people to see. It's gotten a lot of good, traction and a lot of good response from it and whatnot. But
let me say, just to clarify, I know you did something in the group did something with someone, but I didn't think it was Facebook that approached us. I thought it was someone else. So that's where my disconnect was. I thought there was another group that came in, but Facebook doing it too is cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, their marketing, they outsource their marketing or whatever. And so this like production company that they work with, like, got in touch with us, and we've done some things with them in the past, and that's who put it together. So I'll have to put a link in the description so people can see it or whatever. But it was really cool to get to do that and give us a bit more spotlight on our group for people, because they put it out to like millions of people who aren't even like have any connection with us at all. And so I mean, you just constantly keep seeing more and more people come into the group with stuff going on like that. It's just, shining more light out there. It just brings out more people, be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully more dads, stay-at-home dads that, think that they're just on Facebook alone, we'll see it as well. So with things starting to open up, it's nice to basically be able to have the ability to start connecting a little more in person too.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, some dads have a hard time doing that. But man, I tell you, like wherever you're at, like you got to take the opportunity. You got to, if you don't, you might miss the opportunity to find somebody that you can hang out with. So hopefully some guys get involved with that. Oh yeah. The countdown to HomeDadCon's coming too.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've already got a countdown going. So I've got
how many days you got?
Reminders.
How many days?
I don't have days yet. I'm still in weeks because of the house move and everything. And I have it on the big we have a big whiteboard on the wall that I write down like all the daily stuff that's coming, like the the painters are coming on this day. So I have the sheetrock done by this day or whatever. So I've got all that and then I've got the closing date on the house, and right below it, it's got on that. I do have the days, this many days to HomeDadCon. Because it's the only thing keeping me going right now. I got to tell you, I am at my wit's end, and I don't want to whine too much.
No,
and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm so over this. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm going early. I'm going to drive the bourbon van. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go out to eat, and I'm going to eat whatever I want, and I'm not sharing it. And I don't have to cut up anybody's food. I don't have to request anybody's food.
You don't have to wait for somebody to make it. You don't have to wait somebody that's undecisive to come up with what they want to eat.
Right.
Because that person's getting kicked out of the van.
Right. My kid the other day, the 6-year-old, she said, I said, so you want a cheeseburger? And this is when we were taking them to the park and everything. And I said, well, let's get burgers. You want a cheeseburger? And she said, no, I want a hamburger. And I said, okay, cool. Just plain, nothing on it, whatever. Cause she's not really into, much more than lettuce right now. And she said, cheese. And I went, did you want a cheeseburger? She said, no, I want a hamburger with cheese on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to fight you on this. I will specifically tell the person I would like a hamburger with cheese on it, and just listen to just them cackling in the background of this ding dong who doesn't know how to order a cheeseburger. But she refused. I'm like,
you know what? In that situation, next time that happens, let her be the one that says it. Seriously,
step on up. Tell them what you want. Just do it.
She's cute
enough. She'll get away with it.
Yeah,
she'll get away with it.
Just yell through the back window. Hey, what do you want back there? I want a hamburger with cheese on it.
There you go. But not a cheeseburger, right? And I mean, she was mad at me. Like, don't be an idiot, Dad. I told you I didn't want a cheeseburger. Like, I think that's what you want, but okay. But yeah, HomeDadCon, I'm not going to worry about it. If somebody looks at me and goes, I want a burger with cheese on it, I'm just going to slap them in the face with a piece of sliced cheese and go, I'm not your daddy. Go away.
You know what? You just be like, you're ordering a Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. But I am really looking forward to it. Again, the community part of it. I mean, we talk about, how hard it is to make friends as an adult, and it is, and as an at-home dad, and it really is. Yeah. But going HomeDadCon for me, I've never had a problem, and of course I'm fairly extroverted, so it's easier for me, but I know a lot of guys that are a little bit more shy or retiring type, or the introverts, and they're just like, I met a friend and it was awful, but they're my friend now, so everything's cool. I had a social interaction, but it was fine. And it's just such an amazing breather from the day. From going, I mean, from like for right now, you have what, 12 people in your house? Is it 12? Is that what it is? You have 12 people. So when they go, and you're going to, you're going to be, I'm sure a little sad that they're leaving and all, but once they go, you're going to go from have all those people to just your tiny little group again.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be weird tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Well, that's what HomeDadCon is to me.
Oh yeah.
I go and it was like, I only have to take care of myself for 3-4 days, however long. So I'm going early and I'm staying late, because this is I need a break. I'm going to lose my mind. So I need a break. Even if I sleep in my car, I don't care. But having that chance to get away from everything, and it's a huge part of my self-care. And to the point where, I mean, Marnie, my wife, there's no question about if we're going to do it again next year. There's no doubt. There's no, hey, do we think we can? She's already got it in the budget a year in advance to start saving a little bit of money every month so that we can go, or I can go, I should say.
Well, so real quick on that, like, you know, it sounds like you guys have a really good plan in place for like kind of how you go about that. I know that for like my wife, like she likes the concept of HomeDadCon, but at the same time, like she doesn't like, how do I put this? She doesn't like that I'm gone. It's not so much that she doesn't like that I go, it's that she doesn't like that I'm gone. So she's, her thing is like, I sleep better when you're at home, like that kind of thing. And it's like a security issue, but at the same time, like she gets that, this is important, and this is, it's good for you. So I think that, I just kind of wanted to say, like, I mean, there are going to be some partners that are like, I don't want, or I don't feel or understand, or, what your need is to get away for that period of time. And it's like, you need to realize, like, as the supporting spouse of your stay-at-home dad, that they need that time. Like they really do. Like they need that camaraderie. They need to be able to come back refreshed and have, told stories to other guys about their families, and hear from other guys what they're going through, so that, that it's just something about fueling up yourself to be able to go back and then take care of your family. So
that's it. You're refilling your tank. You just are.
And it's 3 months away. It's only 3 months away. So I will say this too, just as like a fun little plug. So some extracurriculars, like you mentioned the bourbon tour, which is something it's full right now. Unless like we get more guys and have to get in a third van, which would be crazy because right now I'm having a difficult time even getting into the distilleries, period. That's a whole nother hurdle that we won't talk about tonight, but Thursday, which is sort of like when everybody will be coming in, we're going to have a group of guys going up to Dayton to the National Air Force Museum.
Yes.
Which is like 4 hangars of some of the most amazing aircrafts ever built. And that's really going to be cool for those guys. I've been up there a few times, and there's just some amazing machinery up there. They've even got like 4 Air Force Ones, including JFK's that he was on when he was assassinated. Like they brought him back when he was in Dallas and everything. So the one that was that oh gosh, what was his vice president? Dang it, not Nixon, Carter? No, I can't think of his name. But they swore him in, like, on there when they were in the air. But like that's there. There's an Eisenhower one there. There's I think Reagan is another one, and a Roosevelt, I believe. So they got 4 different ones. It's really cool, and you can walk through them. Like I don't know. I don't know what the COVID standards how it is, but before COVID, you could walk through them. Like the sides are all plexiglass, so like where
cool.
And you could walk down the middle of the plane and see everything. It was super cool. So I'm excited for those guys to do that. And then I'm going to be heading up a photo walking tour through downtown and over the Rhine. And along with that accompaniment, we'll be stopping in at some different breweries along the way, because there's quite a few downtown to do that. And so, we'll stop in, get a drink or two.
I'll be there.
Head out, hit the next one. And the architecture, in over the Rhine is a combination of like old German and some Italian. So it's really pretty. So we're doing that. And then I don't know if there's anything else going on right now. Those are the big things. And then Saturday night, we are working with FC Cincinnati to basically get a section of tickets to go see FC Cincinnati play Orlando City on that Saturday night. And I think tickets are going to be roughly right around maybe $40, just a little bit less than that. but this is a brand new stadium, and it's gorgeous. It's really nice, and kind of like going to the Minnesota one. The only nice part is that nobody has to show up early for it, so everybody's already there. And I'm hoping that a good majority of our guys take up the opportunity to go to it, especially if they've never been to a soccer match before. Like, why not go with a bunch of guys that you've just hung out with for the past 2 days and really just enjoy that? So so that's kind of the things that are set up currently as far as that goes. And then I put this out to Sergio, who you talked to about cigars.
So, you've already got my attention. Come on.
Yeah, I knew it. So, so Sergio told me that he's going to be at HomeDadCon, and
cool.
I'm super excited about that. And I said, well, if you're coming, we need to do a cigar evening. And he was like, I'm listening, just like you. And I said, there's a local place here in town that I want to go talk to and see if like they would maybe set us up or come and basically like give basically have like a lineup of cigars. Maybe them and Sergio will be able to talk together and get something put together where we can do sort of like a cigar 101 for the guys that are at the convention. So that's something that I'm trying to work on right now.
I'm crying. I'm so happy.
I knew I'd get him to cry. It's like Barbara Walters, eat your heart out.
No, I'm an easy target on that one, man. I'm a grapefruit coming over the plate with that. I cried a Hallmark commercial, but now that's very cool. Do you have any idea? Did you know what night that would be or when that would be?
I would probably put that at like a Friday night, since Thursday night is convention eve, and Saturday would be the soccer game. I would say it would be probably Friday night.
That's what I thought.
That I would shoot for that. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of legwork involved in being done with it, but I think that there's a high possibility that we would be able to put it together. So we'll see how it goes.
Even if not, the very least, I got to tell you, I got to buy Sergio a beer or whiskey or bourbon or whatever he's in the mood for that night, because the guy his podcast is really cool, and he is just, for me, just exactly the kind of person that I want to talk to about smoking cigars better.
He just started a new one.
Thing.
Did he really? Like a new little segment. I don't know if he sent it to me and I listened to it, and it was really good. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quickly while we're doing this. But yeah, he sent this to me like out of the blue, and I was like, what is this thing? This is really cool. So it is, it's called Cigar Basics, a guide to cigar aficionados.
Yeah.
And it's like a 10-minute podcast. It's really cut and dry, but I mean, he gets into some pretty deep stuff quickly with it. And I'll put a link actually up in the details for this podcast, so anybody else that can listen to it. But I mean, he's gonna, I think, try to put something out like every couple of weeks or something. But this is the first episode, is just the anatomy of a cigar. So he breaks down just from the outside in of a cigar, like from the label, like all the way from the label in. And
I can't wait.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to that, like, definitely check it out, because it's a great episode. And it's, like I said, it's only 10 minutes long. I listened to it while I was doing editing for some photos, and I messaged him and I was like, that was awesome. I was like, I'm going to have to listen to it again just so I can take notes.
Yeah. He is very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Just and he's got the passion, which I love. I love that with anybody. I love to see what they are passionate about, but he's definitely got it for cigars, and that's right in my heart, man.
Well, he's apparently studying to be a sommelier for cigars.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's and he should. That is definitely where he should go.
Yeah.
He is that's what suave, he's doing. Man. I'm going to be embarrassed to be standing next to this guy. I got to tell you, he's going to be, overdressed or dressed properly. And I'm going to be hearing my DadCon t-shirt, my cargo shorts. But he is just smooth. I love that guy. I hope all the best for him too, with all the new stuff he's coming into. So
definitely. But anyway, so all that to be said, since we're coming up to the wall here on our time, HomeDadCon, there are still tickets available. We're actually able to do 100% occupancy now. They've dropped all of the restrictions on things, and so we've got the ability to sell 135 tickets right now. I think we're setting at about 80. So we've still got plenty of room for you to come into the convention, and we've got some great sponsors lined up that we'll be going through. And two, like, I mean, this month and the next month, we'll have speaker announcements and a schedule being set up. Yes, that's right. I said a schedule will be announced way in advance of the convention, which, by the way, has never been done before.
I was going to say, is this schedule subject to change? Because this is way early. I'm just going to tell you.
Nope. Everything's already locked in. We've got our speakers locked in, and everything else is ready to go. So
doing it like a pro, man.
It's
I love it.
So yeah. But anyway, on that note, I think we'll just tie a nice bow on this episode. So thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, and keep following us, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.